Do you hear that? Is that a car? No, let's do the impending doom bit. Yeah. Might be onto something there, bud. How is everything? Ready? We all set? Don't think I'd ever be ready for this. Well, you better get it together. We get one shot at this, so we better hit the bullseye. Remember our story? Yes, the artifact is too dangerous to be brought into the city. We should stay here to conduct experiments in a safe location. And while we're out here, we figure what exactly this thing is, as well as what HQ's intentions are. Think it'll work? It has to. Can't afford not to believe in it now. Speaking of, you sure you got everything ready? I hope so. Alright, we got the story. How's the artifact looking? Terrifying. Agitating it yesterday didn't exactly score me any points with it. Maybe we'll scare our visitor off. How about our logged research? What's the status there again? Untouched. Everything is in there. Let's see where honesty gets us then. Lastly, he's going to want to see our journals. How are they looking? Shit. I didn't know I could mess with the research. I didn't see any option for that. Same. Had to do a bit of light sensor. I'd rather have empty journals than something that contradicts what we tell them. Did you do today's entry yet? Not yet. Alright, I think I hear the car getting closer. You fill that in, and I'll go do some light meet and greet. Distracted. Sound good? What should I write? Basics, temperature, day planning. Listen, we can even add something in there to sell our story even more. Alright, I'll see what I can think of. Get going, alright? Yeah, we've got this. I hope. I hope so too. The blank page stares back at you. August 23rd. Same shit as ever. Temperature is substantially above average. It's scorching hot. Luckily, we've got a slight breeze to cool us off somewhat. Any instruments and tools that might sustain damage from the heat have been shielded, and our solar panels are working like never before. Thanks to these precautions, all the equipment is in functional and good shape. Some of the heavier machinery certainly shows signs of the elements, but nothing serious. Do we want to kiss ass? I mean, may as well. Why the fuck not? We're lucky to have such an excellent selection of tools. HQ spoils us. We also had time to clean up the camp a bit. Mostly dusting. We've been living in something of a desert after all. Fabricate something. This morning, I kind of want to go with I made a fool of myself and spilled coffee all over the journal. Some pages were lost. Because then it would explain why part of it was ripped out. But I also wanted to explain why, you know, the thing is angry. I'm going with this one. I had to rip a few of them out in order to save the rest, but a fair amount of log entries had to go. Hopefully this doesn't reflect too badly on us, and I'll be able to update the journals fully later on. Unfortunately, some of the more integral entries were lost. Yeah, I like that. That makes it necessary. I've discussed this with George, and we're confident that we can recall all those entries accurately enough at a future time. Flip through the journal. The past 6 months fly by as you flip through the pages. It seems like your handwriting got worse over time. Is that a hidden message? You flip the back cover of the notebook, carefully peeling back the lining. There's a small patch of cardboard where you could write something if you choose to. Micah was right. Who the fuck is Micah? nobody named Micah. I'm going with don't trust them. The words barely fit, but you make do. Once done, you cover the message with the lining of the cover once more. The message is completely hidden. Close the journal and get up. Look at that man. That man isn't like some sort of scientist expert dude that HQ sent over. He's a hitman. Look at him. He's gonna kill us. Oh.
Hey.
Ah, and you must be Eli. Pleased to meet you, amigo. I was just getting acquainted with your boss here. Alright, I don't know that he's the boss, but okay. That's a misunderstanding. We make decisions together. It's a democracy out here. A democracy? How modern. You guys are regular progressives, huh? That said, though, one of you has to be the senior one, isn't that right? If there's something I know, boys, is that there's always someone out here calling the shots. Well, in that case, I'm the senior. There it is. There's always someone on top, ain't there? Now that I get a good look at you, of course it had to be you. Looking real smart, got the glasses and the hat and everything. Oh, he's gonna fucking kill me because I wasn't humble. I don't know, man. I don't know if he wants to kill the most senior guy, you know, the one making decisions as punishment, or if he wants to save the most senior guy because the other one is useless. Sorry, I don't think I caught your name.
Hey.
Oh, how thoughtless of me. Tell you what, I'll get you a business card from the car in a moment, alright? Give you proper introduction, titles and all. What is your title exactly?
Oh.
I'm not rightly sure there's a word for it, frankly. Tell you what, I am what I do, a visitor. I make visits out to people like you fine fellas who ain't seen anyone else for months. Speaking of, it's gotta get real lonely out here, right? We make do. Not much need of anyone else out here. Okay, I guess that was the wrong choice. You don't say. Well, aren't the two of you brave explorers something else? If it were me, I'd want plenty of people around. Lots of visitors too. But hey, to each their own. Anyway, let's intersperse the pleasantries with some actual work, eh? After all, I didn't come out here just to see you two. Sure, where do you want to start? Well, I've never been one for long, tedious briefings. Here, why don't you just give me the broad strokes of what's going on with you and your little, let's say, friend. Stay out here with us. We believe the artifact is incredibly dangerous. It should stay out here with us. No. There's a lot to learn, but we've gained some expertise. It would be best if we were assigned a lab in the city for further research. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Shit. Eli, I think you've got that wrong. That's our old hypothesis, remember? Alright, I meant to say the artifact is incredibly dangerous. It should stay out here with a small research team. Dangerous. I see. That's gotta add another level of stress to surviving out here. Tell me, how dangerous exactly? We've determined it's parasitic in nature. Parasitic? Boy, I don't like the sound of that. You two been wearing some type of protective gear or something? You haven't had it crawl into your ears, have you? We've been taking precautions for sure. I bet. A couple of smart guys like you gotta know what you're doing, alright? Anything I should keep in mind when I see it? Just be careful. Any other questions? Well, first things first, the boring ones, I suppose. The two of you keep a daily journal on your work, correct? Proper protocol and all that? Let's start there. Where do you keep your notes? Don't worry, I'll take you there. I'm sure I can find my way. I bet you don't keep it out here in the camp, is that right? In the tent, perhaps? If you don't mind, I'd love to have a look. This fucking guy. Certainly, after you. Perfect. I'm sure one of you can fill in the blanks and provide me with a little context too. I'm not too keen on going over months of entries. Of course, I'll be right with you. Oh, we're gonna die. We're gonna fucking die. Wait, he probably has a gun in the car. I don't like how ready he was to invite himself into the tent. Don't let him rummage around in there on his own. Keep an eye on him, Eli. You're just gonna stay here? Yeah. Better for him to have a single source of information. That way we don't mix up our stories or contradict each other. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna have a look around his car, see what we're dealing with. Be careful, George. Fucking George. I'm gonna be the one murdered. Like, George hasn't lifted a fucking finger this whole time, and I'm gonna be the one that gets murdered. Unbelievable.
Hey.
Cozy little place you got here. Took a lot of work to make it feel like home, but we got there in the end. Oh, sorry about the misunderstanding earlier. Your underling made it sound like he was the boss around here. She do that a lot? Not good at taking orders, huh? George is an excellent scientist. I don't doubt it. Neither of you would be out here if you weren't. All I'm saying is that in my experience, researching reports to HQ tend to be assigned to a single name. For simplicity's sake, of course. I'm trying not to say. Well, no, he kept making himself sound like the boss, so fuck him. In that case, I do consider myself the senior scientist. That's more like it. See? I knew you were the big brains of this operation. And don't worry, I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, this George, what's he like? And I don't mean professionally, I mean as a person. Go on, you can tell me. I don't want to sell him out either, but like, he's a dick. Would be nice. He's worked hard his whole life to be what he is today. No, actually no, fuck that. He definitely hasn't worked hard. I hadn't seen that motherfucker work hard once in this whole time. Fuck. And he wasn't a believer either. I don't think that's relevant to our conversation. Oh, I'm just making pleasant conversation. It's important to know the people to work with, don't you agree? Surely you haven't been out here this long to barely become acquainted with each other. No, not at all. I think we should just focus on the artifact, the actual reason we're standing here. What, you think it might blow up if we leave it alone for too long? I figured we had time to talk, but maybe I should start... count down the minutes to our inevitable demise, huh? Fair enough, Glasses. Business it is. Let's. Go on, have a look. Certainly. I'll confess, had a bit of a look in the journals before you got in. Didn't get far though, so don't worry, no spoilers. We'll go through the rest of it together then. Well, let's start from the top. Would you mind showing me around which time you first dug up our little friend? Here, a little while back. There we go, August 14th. I see your colleague mentioned something about a low hum. This turned out to be the scientific discovery of the century, I presume? Shit, I don't remember anything about that. A hum? No, we believe that's something else entirely. Oh, you reckon there's more out there? And that's something. I suppose your entry here checks out with that sentiment too. You fellas had no idea what to expect, did you? Oh, I don't remember. I feel like I fucked up already. We had to expect anything. You can't make conclusions that early.
Oh.
No kidding. Don't mind me just skimming the next couple entries, and I'll say I'm glad to see you took HQ's warnings about the waste to heart. Nothing but death and danger out here, huh? I suppose you fellas even proved them right. Of course, we have to rely on HQ. Makes you wonder though, staying out here with a small team, keeping your little experiments, that takes balls, bud. Too risky for my taste, but I guess you fellas know what you're doing. We do.
Ah.
That's the spirit. How about we continue then? Certainly. So, August 21st was the day you two started experimenting, huh? Be honest, did it take a lot of convincing to get George to go along with it? See the big picture? We discussed it and agreed it was the best course of action. Ah, ain't that nice? No friction in the camp, huh? Not in this particular instance, no.
Uh-huh.
Ah, he noticed the missing page. Shit. Good, good. Oh, looks like there's a page missing here, see? Right here, you can barely tell. Almost as if someone tried concealing it. Crazy how that happens, huh? Ah, yes, that was me this morning. Sorry, I go into greater detail in the most recent entry. Oh, right, of course. That should be at the end then, right? Yes, that's right. Just flip through a few more pages if you don't mind.
Aha.
Ah, here we go. The cause of the lost pages. Spilled coffee. I knew it. That's always the case, ain't it? You're working with one of the most important... You're working on the most important thing of your life and bam, gone forever. Cruel, cruel world out here, isn't it? Yes, I must have been shifting my weight, knocked the cup over. Of course, hate when that happens. That's why I don't drink tea or coffee. Well, that, but the stronger options are just a tad more tempting. Anyway, that's about it, I think. Sorry about all the questions, buddy. No hard feelings, right? Not at all. I understand completely. You have to do your job. Great, great. Well, let's get on with the rest of the tour then. I assume the two of you have a separate ledger for the more scientific mumbo jumbo, right? Yes. Follow me and I'll show you. No need, no need. I'm sure I'll find it. Kind of want to look around the site too. It so boggles the mind how distant this place is. Got any idea how far you guys are from the wall? Okay, he's asking that. He's asking that because he wants to see if we have like a route to get back into the city. You drove here, correct? You know how long the drive was. I do. You guys are far, far out. Shit, if you guys went missing, no one would notice. No one would know. I'm sure someone would. Oh, eventually? Sure. Anyway, I'm gonna have a look around camp if you don't mind. Would appreciate your expertise while I'm going through your research. No rush, of course. Of course. I'll be right with you. I didn't manipulate the research. I didn't know I could. Yo, motherfucker. We're fucked. Well, how did it go? What's the read on this guy? I don't think he trusts a word I say. Makes you wonder why what they told him back at HQ. They sent one car with a single driver out to see both of us, Eli. I wouldn't doubt they told him everything they know. Even if they don't know everything, I figure he's here to connect the remaining dots. I get the feeling he's trying to scope us out, get to know us. So what did you tell him exactly? We talked about the journal entries. And was he suspicious? He certainly asked about the missing entries. Shit, what'd you tell him? Whatever I could think of. Not sure it convinced him. Come on, Eli, you need to focus up. Keep on top of this, or things are just gonna get worse. You only get one shot at convincing this guy that our plan is sound, and I can't have you being a self-resigned pessimist about it. I mean, I am a self-resigned pessimist. But I'll try harder. How's that? Good. Now get back in there. Him creeping around by himself is making me nervous. Sure. How are things on your end? I checked the car while you were in the tent. Backseat is full of equipment, containers, safety pods, the works. And what else? Nothing I could see, just 2 empty seats and a mess in the back. What are you trying to say, George? Well, either this guy is disorganized or he's expecting only 1 passenger. Or none even. Keep him distracted, alright? I'll see what else I can find. I'm sure he has a gun or something, but like, I feel like we could have jumped this guy when he was walking by us just now. We could have jumped him. We could have got his ass. But yeah, I didn't fuck with the experiments or anything if I was supposed to do that.
Oh, hey.
Glasses, I gotta say, you two have kept this camp pristine considering you're in the middle of the desert. What's your secret, huh? You just a neat freak? Dirt and debris would ruin the instruments. We have to keep it clean. Right. How's your pal doing, by the way? Saw you two chatting away. He's not joining us? He's just admiring your car. Right, of course. Listen, I keep thinking about it. What's it like out here? You know, being in the wilds, the wilderness, the wastes. It's a struggle, that's for sure. I bet. You fellas got plenty of supplies, food, water. The solar panels come in handy, I'm sure. But it's not as though you can eat whatever comes out of the cables. You two ever gone foraging out here? Look for plants, roots, whatever's edible? There's nothing edible out here, I can assure.
Oh.
You say so. You're the scientist after all. I reckon you know what's out here, I suppose. My only thought was that 6 months alone in the sands with a single other person might dull one's judgment ever so slightly. How do you mean exactly? I couldn't say. All I know is that I can't wait to get back to the city is all. On that note, how about we get back to work? The ledger's here. Am I correct in assuming this is the culmination of 6 months of work by a certain super genius? I don't know about super genius, but yes. Right. These are certainly notes, research, lots and lots of words. Say, you wouldn't mind if I skipped ahead to the more crucial passages, wouldn't you? I do think the context is fairly crucial. Right, of course. I just figured it'd go over my head. You know, smart fellas like yourselves, your work flies over the head of simple errand boys like myself. No, I insist. It's important to understand the whole process before making judgment. The visitor isn't a big fan of reading. Oh, I made the wrong choice. Fine, let's current state of the dig site, sedimentary geology, large. That means rock, I'm sure. Okay, right there. I'm up to speed. That good enough for you, Glasses? I'm just messing with you. Please continue. The visitor seems a little suspicious of your story. Come on, I can't do anything right. Right. Let's see here. Well, looks like you fellas were a little less worried about bringing this into the city at the start. Why the change of heart? Why is it too dangerous now? Frankly, we don't trust HQ to treat the artifact with care and respect it needs. We realize the danger over time. It's not safe in the city. Not safe. Got it, got it. I mean, no offense to your camp, but it doesn't necessarily strike me as the safest place either. George is on board with this too. I'm counting on it. George can feel as he pleases. It makes no difference to me. As he pleases. That's the way you're phrasing it, friend. Do you expect him to see things differently then? You don't get along when it comes to work stuff? We don't always see eye to eye. Take that as you will. I see, I see. Not taking anything for granted, huh? Smart move. I play by those same rules. Glad to have found a kindred spirit, Glasses. Us two are becoming fast friends, aren't we? I'm not averse to making new friends, I suppose. Of course.
Oh.
Excellent. Just makes things run a little smoother, don't it? I'm gonna say nothing to that. Good stuff. Gotta say, all things considered with what you have, it is impressive work to have done out in the desert. Limited tools, limited resources. Scary stuff. But you guys made something out of it. Bet you're happy about all HQ support, huh? Frankly, they haven't been much help. Sure, but we certainly had to rely somewhat on our own adaptability and management as well. Sure. Yeah? Rationing stuff, that kind of thing? Well, you fellas seem to have done a great job at it. Hypothetically, if I were to just jump in the car and drive off, leaving you guys out here, how long do you think you could make it? I'm not entirely sure. We were hoping you would bring more provisions.
Oh.
Oh, I think I've got some snacks in my car that you fellas could have. Just joking, of course. Don't worry about rations, but we've got you covered. Much appreciated. Don't mention it. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to have a look at the rest of the camp of yours. And we need to have a look at our little friend here, too, don't we? Yes, would you like to see the artifact now? In a moment. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a little stroll through camp first, see if there's anything I missed. After that, you can show me this little discovery of yours. Deal? Deal? This is a lot of reading for a guy who's just gonna murder me anyway, dude. I'm having this long-ass conversation with this man, and I know he's just gonna bop me. I guess I can talk to George one more time, and then that's it. Anything to report? We just went over the research. Figured you'd want to see that. How did it go? He's definitely suspicious. No kidding. I think that's part of his job after all. He's certainly doing his best to keep us on our toes.
Oh.
What do you mean? I think he's trying to create friction between us. He's asking if we trust each other. And what did you tell him? Part of what makes this hard isn't just that I'm worried about the Fox guy, it's that I also don't trust George either. So, that we're friends and we trust each other, obviously. Good. Listen, I know we haven't always been close out here. To be frank, I feel like I've only really gotten to know you over the past few days. But it's important that he believes that to be the case. For what it's worth, George, I do consider you my friend. Likewise, Eli. Let's hope we come out of this stronger than before. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck you over, buddy. Sorry. Anything new on your end? Yes, actually. I've been watching him carefully as the two of you have been talking, and I think I've spotted something pretty serious. Which was? He's armed, Eli. I wasn't sure at first, but he's got a gun under that jacket. That's not good. It's not. I understand needing one out here, self-defense and all that, but I don't like the fact that it's so concealed. I had to check a couple times to make sure. Well, now we know for certain that he's dangerous. What we don't know is whether or not he considers us a threat, Eli. I keep saying it, but we have to be careful. Do you think he considers us a threat? I have no clue. I can't read him. That doesn't leave us much to go on. Listen, Eli. We might need to consider what we do if he turns that gun on us. Do you have a plan? Possibly, but it's not something I would do without you being on the same page. Are you? I need to know what the plan is before I can say that, George. Yes or no, Eli? I won't agree to something you refuse to share with me, George. Alright, well in that case I'll keep watching you two. He's going to want to see the artifact next, I'm sure. Make sure you convince him of whatever you tell him, alright? We can't afford him jumping to his own conclusions. Will you be alright here? I'll be nervous, that's for sure, but considering the circumstances, I'll take it. Go join him, alright? And good luck. You too. George. I better. George's lazy ass is gonna survive this, isn't he? His lazy ass is gonna survive this.
Hey.
This is it, huh? Our little guy. This is the specimen, yes. I see. And that hum. Oh no! The hum was coming from him. Or it, sorry, it. I didn't remember a hum. That's the artifact. We're unsure exactly what causes it. Ain't that something? So, this thing just came out of the ground, huh? Crazy. How do you figure you ended up finding it? What do you mean? Well, we call this the waste, don't we? Ain't nothing out here, not as far as I know. And then you fellas make this little discovery? How do you think that happened? HQ knew it was out here? I feel the correct answer is no. I'll admit I'm not sure. How could they possibly have known? I'm asking you, Glasses. You fellas found something, though. However hard it is to believe, HQ must have had some reason to send you here. What do you think it was? How did they know it was here? I feel like I'm trying to defuse a bomb. They didn't. We're just the most recent search party and the one that happened to be successful. You know, it's funny. I was actually told something very similar not too long ago. It's interesting, isn't it? How we all sort of assume we're the only one in our particular predicaments. Say nothing, try to read his expression. The visitor's gaze seems a little more intense all of a sudden. Comical that, no matter how bizarre a situation you find yourself in, there's always someone else out there going through the same thing. I guarantee it. I think you're exaggerating, you must be. Ain't that something? Now to get back to business, you mentioned this thing being real dangerous, right? Any precautions we need to take? Absolutely no touching. Try not to look at it directly for too long. No worries, Glasses. I wouldn't touch this thing unless I had to. You don't mind if I have a little bit of a look, then? A few passing glances? Just be careful about it. You believe my obvious bullshit? There. I think I see it. So is the... Oh, shit. The little bastard is upset, ain't he? Is he... It... supposed to... wiggle around like that? I mean, it looks like it's trying to break through the glass. I can't say that's how it always is, because it's gonna calm down eventually. It very well may be. Well, I'll just respectfully back it up just a little bit in that case. Holy shit, glasses. And you think you can keep that thing secure out here in the middle of the wastes? Yes, with the right team, we're confident we can handle it. No doubt, huh? Well, personally, I'd like to formally reject any invitation to work. I'd like to formally reject any invitation to work on this thing any further. Freaks me out. The worst part is that it just might have to make a brief stop in the city for HQ's sake, and I don't see a lot of cars around except mine. Not really my favorite kind of passenger. Will me and George be able to present it? I'd advise against that. I'm sure, but this one's out of your hands, man. Out of mine, too. HQ was pretty clear about wanting to see this thing. They won't even know what they're looking at. Oh, don't worry about that. I'm sure your notes and research will cover it. There may be some gaps here and there, but the lab boys back at Science City are clever enough to piece it together. I'm sure. They've had to do that before anyway. Oh, bad signs. This is unacceptable. We should be there. I know. Bureaucracy's a real bitch, huh? Look, I know you have strong feelings about it, I can tell. How about we talk it over? You know, all three of us. Alright, if I say I need an answer now, he's just gonna shoot me now and then go shoot the other guy. I'd appreciate that, yes? Stellar. Tell you what, I'll grab our little friend here too. That way no one's left out of the conversation. I'll carry it. Don't worry, I'm stronger than I look. Don't mind carrying it whatsoever. Come on, glasses. I'm sure George is waiting. Shit. I was hoping I could run and warn George and we could fight or something. Yeah, we're fucked. Can I go in here? Can I hide? Can I grab a weapon? Oh, no. Come on, let's not keep him waiting. I don't want him to see us talking to each other too much. He might get suspicious. You don't want to know how it went? I desperately do, but I don't think we have the time to chat right now. Just stay calm, all right? I'll do my best, man. Now, come on. He's watching us. We should join him by the car. Hop in the car and drive. Oh, shit.
Oh, hey.
There. All done. Bet you boys are happy this little inspection is over, eh? Shake off the tension and all that. Tension? I'm not sure what you mean. Of course, sometimes people tend to be a little more on edge. You two, though, cool as cupcakes. Certainly. If you don't mind, we have questions for you, motherfucker. Of course. If you don't mind, though, I still gotta finish my report. We'll do a quick recap of everything, then you can ask all the questions you like. Deal? Fine. Excellent. Let's start with the simple stuff, yeah? Usually there's a whole section of personability and cooperation. A personality assessment, if you will. Since we've done most of the talking, I'll just put you down as the main subject. Sounds reasonable. The visitor thinks you're boring. Why? What about that reaction? Okay, whatever. Right. Now, cooperation's been fine, no denying that, but it hasn't been particularly engaging, though. Engaging? Well, I just like interesting people, you know? And I've tried to be real sweet and sociable. Can't help it, even. It's in my nature. It just seems like we don't really mesh, fellas. I'm a colorful guy, you're grayer than concrete. Excuse me? Listen, fellas. I was hoping I'd hope that the two of you could be different from the others. More fun, more sociable. Oh well, more's the pity. Oh shit. There. I'll tell you guys, this thing's real uncomfortable. I'll have to get myself a new holster or something. Try to catch George's attention.
Hey.
Now, let's not get all jumpy. It's a gun, that's true. You've seen one before. I've seen one before. There's no need for excitement. I agree. We can talk about this. No cause for threats.
Oh.
He's worried about my loyalty for what, bro? For what? Listen, Eli, you two have been out here for a while now, and it's apparent you've forgotten about chain of command. Got a little too big for your britches. Happens to the best of us. I'm just here to whip things back into shape. Whip how exactly? I'm still making up my mind about that part. Don't worry, Glasses. If it's up to me, we'll get there sooner rather than later. Alright, I'm not gonna say none of that. I want to go through this step by step. I feel morally obliged to present the full extent of the impression you've made on me. You and George, this camp, your journals, your research, the full Monty. Gesture to continue. Let's start with this little yarn you've been spinning me, this thing being real dangerous. This chemical bomb alien monster, pod-based killer. You're not spinning yarns, these are facts. No, he's unconvinced. Oh, why? Look, fellas. I get that you were scared of this thing when you got it. Since then, though, you've contained it, experimented on it. Shit, you're even keeping it out here in the camp like some sort of bizarro centerpiece. The whole thing about it being something to fear, well, fellas, I don't buy it. You must be joking. The artifact is dangerous. You saw it yourself. I saw it exactly the way you wanted me to see it. You had a data plan, fellas. You expect me to believe you didn't take some liberties with framing and presentation? Come on, Glasses, be serious. Tell the truth. I am telling you the truth. You need to understand the gravity of the situation. I'm sorry, fellas, but that's not gonna cut it. If I can't get a straight answer from the two of you, I'm gonna have to get it from the boys at HQ. If that means driving this all the way to Science City, so be it. At the very least, take us back with you. We can ensure your safety. Well, ain't that awful noble of you, but I'll pass. If you two can contain this thing out here with your little desert camp, then I'm sure I can manage to keep it safe for a drive. I'll take my chances. And some of your safety gear, too. You're just gonna leave us here? The visitor considers you a threat to HQ. Oh my god. I'll be blunt, fellas. I don't trust you. If I just leave, the two of you are gonna start getting desperate. Maybe you'll fiddle around with that radio, attempt to build a car, try your hand at weaponry. Who knows? And that, I can't abide. Weaponry? What? You're lab coats, ain't you? You're clever. Too clever for your own good. In my world, that equals risk, and risk equals danger. What's life without a little danger, though, you know? Oh, you're preaching to the choir, pal. The thing is, HQ won't see it that way. Sorry, boys, this is the end of the line. In that case, I have one last request. Sure. Within reason, of course. You never told us your name.
Yeah.
I suppose I didn't. It's Vance. Well, he's gonna kill us no matter what. Very well. Go fuck yourself, Vance. Good talk, Eli. You too, George. Ah, shit.
Uh-huh.
Well, you two, it's been real. Quite a little adventure, huh? You know, I was half expecting you to jump me. Good move not to, honestly. I mean, end result's the same regardless, but you know, a little classier this way, riding together, dying together. Real inspiring.
Oh.
Well, don't let me talk your ears off. I should get going. Me and our little friend have got a long ride ahead of us. Adios, pleasure. Adios, fellas. The pleasure's all mine. You and George decided to tell the visitor that nothing conclusive had been found and that further research far from the city would be required. Man, this one's kind of hard. It's harder to judge than Backbone was because it was split between several characters, right? And I don't know, especially given the length, it just felt. How should I put this? When I reviewed Backbone, I had said it's got a lot of potential, but it feels kind of abrupt at the end. This didn't feel like quite enough either, given again you had 4 characters. We got through some of what's her name, Renee's stuff. I was like, I mean, you know, we're talking about this divorce, and I'm like, I feel like I've had 1 or 2 conversations with that motherfucker, and now we're getting a divorce. Like, it felt kind of dramatic and out of nowhere. I guess Howie and Larry felt a little more complete start to finish. But even so. Clarissa's wasn't so bad as well. We kind of saw that whole journey. I don't know. I really gotta think about how I'm gonna feel about this in the long run, but I think overall I kind of like Backbone better.